All right, everyone, we're back again. Another training vlog in the garage on a Saturday. This is, hopefully I'll be able to get my last day in, but we're on day 3 right now of our lower body day. The Zercher squat, snatches. We're gonna change up the snatches a little bit today just because of some equipment layout in here and just trying to try something a little bit different for this last week. We've got a big storm brewing here in Pittsburgh. I think it's actually across the entire US, but tomorrow we're supposed to get hit with some decent amount of snow, cold temperatures, so we'll see if I get in the garage tomorrow to get our last day of lifts in. But for today, instead of going block snatches, we're gonna go regular hang snatches for today. Reason for this is I don't have enough DC blocks, and it's just a pain a little bit when I put the crash pads down to make sure that we kind of get those extra like 6 inches on each side. So we're just gonna go from the hang today. We've got 7 singles today at 130. I might feel around with that, see how it feels, maybe bump that up to 135. Kind of just going off of feel today. We're gonna superset that with our jumps. Got the force plates out, so we're actually get some metrics and something I can compare to from, I think it was last week we did this lift in the garage, so I was able to get on the force plates and just get some numbers, some metrics on kind of how the arm swing and the potentiation was going. Finally, we're gonna set up some Zerchers and then RDLs, and then probably add probably a different adductor and tib movement, since I don't have the tib bar, and then something else I need for the adductors. If you guys saw kind of in that little clip of warm up, I'm not sure if I put it in before, if I'm gonna put it in after this. 2 things anytime I'm in the garage that I've really tried to be hammering: 3 sets of 10 of back extensions and 3 sets of 10 of the reverse hyper. I don't know if it's lifting, sitting, just kind of not taking care of myself the way I was in the fall and summer on like some mobility stuff and recovery, but just starting to get a little bit of like achiness in my lower back. And I've had a history of the past of kind of like QL, either disc, nerve. I never really got it looked at, kind of just dealt with it, rehabbed it myself. Achiness, so before that becomes to a point where like can't roll out of bed, like walking's real hard, I want to make sure we're kind of attacking some areas and also trying to focus more on strengthening that lower back. Diving into a little bit of a rabbit hole right now on like just kind of that lower back, the entire like midsection, core, glutes, glute medius, posterior chain, just trying to figure out, am I missing something in my training? Am I not getting enough volume in? Just figuring out where I might be missing something to where this maybe still is becoming an issue. So I'll let you guys get some warm-up reps in. We'll show you something, give you some jumps in, kind of give you a little bit of chit-chat in between today's training session.
Memories filling up my mind and I can't seem to push him back. These times ingrained in my mind and I just can't let it go.
Set number 1. We're gonna go with 135. I think our last warm-up set was 125, so about 5 pounds under than the 130. Felt good. I think this is gonna give me a little bit of a challenge to make sure as I'm going through these positions, hinging, keeping that chest to the ground, being patient through my pull till I get to that power position before extending. Being a little bit heavier, I think I'm gonna wanna rush it when I don't have to. So we're gonna see how these go. It felt good. Felt like I was nice and patient through the pull till I got vertical and then making contact. We'll superset this with our dumbbell jumps, and then we'll go over some of the force plate jumps. First jump on the force plates will give us a little 5-second countdown. All right, jump height for this one is going to be a 1221. I'm down about -1% since the last time we did this. So we're going to see how these next couple ones go. As I'm resting for this next set, so the force plates are awesome, right? But they're not necessary. You could do something super similar with a just jump mat, an OVR jump. Like, you just are looking for something to give you a hard number on where you're at that you can track week to week to week, right? Like being fortunate enough to have a set of force plates in here, and with the athletes I train, like, yeah, it's awesome because not only can I look at jump height, I can look at counter movement depth, I can look at time to take off, right? So I can kind of see week by week, all right, if jump height is increasing, what also is increasing? Or if jump height is not increasing, what's going on? Is my jump strategy changing? Is maybe my time to take off, am I getting lower in my counter movement because with the arm swing, which is now causing me to have a longer time coming up? So it just allows me to use something, but you can use anything. Honestly, putting your hand in a chalk bucket, standing next to the wall, jumping as high as you can, touching the wall, and then tracking it that way, whether you want to measure it or just visually see. Like, all it is just trying to help me drive intent on the jumps, and then on the back end for me allows me to look at 3 weeks of training, 4 weeks of training, 6 weeks of training, however long my phase of training is that we're trying to increase jump height, or seeing how this complex affects jump height, what is going on over time. But really, anything will do as long as it's driving intent. I mean, honestly, if it was nice outside, I would have, honestly, maybe hang balls, little tennis balls on different strings from the ceiling or outside on the basketball hoop, or use the basketball hoop of like, hey, let's every week just try to touch the hoop. You're just trying to find a way to just drive intent a little bit better on these. But that was 1 of 7, 6 more sets to go. I'll probably show you guys a little bit more of the jumping versus the snatching, but we'll see what I feel like filming as we're going through this. So we got through our first 5 sets. You guys, oh wow, completely didn't realize I wasn't in the camera cutting my head off. Whatever. You guys saw, I think, set 1, set 2. Kind of did some stuff for some social media filming wise and all that, and just trying to be better about time management in here for me. I want to give you guys as much content as I can and explain things, but at the same time, 2.5 hour lifts are not always the best when I got things going on. So set number 6 right here. Again, snatches are feeling good. Jumps were okay to trash, to the last one kind of climbing back up a little bit. So you guys will see what this next one looks like for the jumps. So set 6 jump was an 11.92. We had an increase in counter movement depth, a massive increase in braking rate of force development, and a pretty clean force velocity curve, which maybe in another video we'll dive into, like force velocity curves, what they look like, what we can infer from them, and kind of how I personally use them in my training with my athletes. But that was set number 6. Maybe give you guys the last one. I don't know. We'll see how we're feeling, but definitely going to film the last jump for you guys to kind of see if we can't hit an all-time best on this last one.
We will be ready.
Before the child of wonder, in the age of wonder.
Last jump of the day. Hopefully it's the best one. Really ugly landing. 11.76. So across my average jumps, mean is an 1189. So we're about a 1% difference on that. Counter movement depth, negative 1356. We usually are around like a negative 96. So some cool information. Again, looking back at the jump heights, also looking at the video, how are we jumping? Interesting to kind of just see trends of like week by week, like what were we averaging? How are we getting better? Were we getting better? Are we kind of in that, all right, week 3, volume's the highest. Are we a little bit dead? Taking a deload week next week, coming back if we jumped again. What are these numbers looking like? So just another cool way to just track stuff, see improvement besides just feeling, just videoing and looking back at it. We're gonna clean up, get my lifters on, get the wedge out. We'll set up for Zercher squats, and then we'll get these sets in and then kind of show you the little bit of changes we're gonna make on the back end for our accessories today. Got through first set of 6 on our Zercher squats today. Focus for today on these Zercher squats, besides trying to keep that tempo under control, is making sure that as we're going down, we are driving knees over the toes, trying to get as much flexion as possible of these. We only got 3 reps for 12 sets. Weight-wise, like, it's not the heaviest Zercher squat in the world, but for me, making sure we're keeping that upright torso, knees forward, time under tension, it's feeling like a good intensity for me today. Definitely, ankle mobility the last couple of weeks has gotten a lot better, even though we still are wedged with lifters, just really trying to help us stay that torso upright as we're driving down, just trying to get a lot of knee flexion on each one of these sets. We made it, set number 12 right here. Last 3 reps, trying to make sure they look just as good as our first couple sets did. All right, wrapping up. Zercher's there. I'm liking the Zercher squat enough that I think our next phase of training, we're gonna move into a strength block and really trying to see where I can take the Zerchers, building up to probably like a 3 rep max on Zerchers, just trying to see what strength we can gain in this position here. But we're gonna clean this up. I think what I'm gonna do is, because I have access to it, we're gonna go reverse hypers for our posterior chain today. And then we're gonna go just wall tibialis is how we're gonna set this up. So we'll give you a couple little back and forth of those 2 exercises and then wrap it up for today. If you're wondering, like, hey, you did the reverse hypers in your prep work before squatting today, why would you do them again? Well, one, the prep work was much lighter, right? Again, we're just thinking about getting range of motion, getting some decompression through the spine, and getting some good posterior chain activation. For this one now, we've increased the intensity, trying to make it more of a little bit of a strength movement, still keeping volume on the higher end with 3 sets of 10 for this. And really just on how I'm feeling, how I felt after the warm-up reps of these, I really enjoyed just the reverse hyper, and I don't get access to it a lot unless I'm lifting in the garage. If I got, like, say my Monday, Tuesday at school, maybe a Thursday at school, if Friday I get in here, if it's an upper body day, I really don't think to use the hyper too much. So I'm just planning on using it more often, especially in some prep work, and then maybe trying to use it even in our next block of exercises to really focusing on strengthening that posterior chain and getting some decompression through the spine at the same time.